Hello, I am Raziel. The newest video I'm preparing for Warhammer The Old World, but this time the Empire. So just for clarity's sake, I use a number of old Warhammer army books, Age of Sigmar battle tomes, and rule books from both Warhammer Fantasy and Age of Sigmar. So when talking about rules and building these lists, it's more of an educated guess than a wild stab in the dark. And of course, I am focusing on armies that we know will be in the game. So as much as I love and miss the Tomb Kings, it's highly unlikely they will be present in Warhammer The Old World. And vice versa, the Stormcast Eternals were not present on the Old World, so again, I won't be talking about them as a faction. Now, the Empire is one of the most interesting factions for Warhammer and Age of Sigmar fantasy battles, and hopefully the Old World too. They are the basic human faction, with them the Empire being the centre of all the lore, with the God King Sigmar. So with that in mind, where would I start with the Empire Force for Warhammer The Old World? First things first, the Empire is one of the two factions where you can't use any of their named characters that I'm aware of at the moment. The other faction is Kislev. So this is using models that are currently available on the Games Workshop website and first party only. Again, this is mostly to do with the fact that this is for people who want to play the game, get into it, and so they know where to go straight away. I mean, there are other third parties which I would like to talk about, but I'm not quite sure around, such as Victoria Miniatures. Anyway, as I said, these are models which are available, and these are the free guild models, as they are the old Empire boxes, and they may have some new additions. Anyway, so here we go. To begin with, the two basic troop choices would be gunners. These are good for this, and you can either make gunners or crossbowmen for the extra range. So if you want to do handgunners, you will have your penetration, and that's the way I would go. They have substantial range anyway, as going by the old Warhammer Fantasy Rulebooks. It's a 24-inch range and a strength 4, but they also have that armor piercing that will help when they get into close combat. And then I would get some swordsmen for close combat as well. They have a 6+ ward save. Again, this is from an old Warhammer rulebook for having a sword and shield. And this will be a great boon to tie up some light infantry in close combat. But if you want some extra attacks, you can make spearmen instead. Or finally, if you want a harder hit with a +1 of strength, go with some halberds. Now, I would get for my troops and common units, or common units if you prefer, 1 box of free guild handgunners and 2 boxes of free guild spearmen. I know I'd take 2 is basically the start, so you would have in the rules you need at least 3 units, one lord or hero, and 2 basic troops. So anyway, I would basically, this is where I would do it. I would make a unit of handgunners and 1 unit of swordsmen, and finally a unit of spearmen. I would use the gunners to back up the swordsmen to whittle down any units before charging into close combat with them. Then I'd use the spearmen to move up slower and use the extra attacks on heavier armoured units. You won't get the penetration like with the halberds, obviously with a +1 strength, but the extra attacks does help a lot as well. Now next is the special units. There isn't much choice at the moment for special choices for the Empire. You have Outriders, Pistoliers, or Great Swords. Now I would just get 2 boxes of Outriders. Make 1 Outriders and the other Pistoliers. These are just to harry the flanks of your enemy, and to make sure that your close combat troops, like your spearmen, who may be attacked by ranged weapons, won't get much bother. So, just make sure those close combat troops can get to where they need to go. Great swords are good, but they are slow. The heavy armor will help them defend and stop a lot of damage, but they don't have the ward save like the swords and shield, and it is a two-handed weapon. So rare units now, there's so much more for this. This would depend on which colours you will fly. During the time of the Old World, the Empire is divided, so certain rare units would be more available in a certain area. So if you were to fly outdoor or known colours, steam tanks would be my go-to. Especially known, there is a massive forge there, and who would make the old steam tanks. Other areas units, I'd go straight with flagellants. Being an unbreakable unit and having up to 30 models in the unit will tear through most light infantry, and if you have a full 30 in the unit, they will hold up even the most mightiest of opponents, and nothing will upset a bloodthirster more than not being able to move because of that one puny mortal that refuses to run away or die. Also, in the older Warhammer Army books and rules, they had flail and craze. Now, I hope they bring these back, just as these crazy swords will be more formidable in combat. And if you want to go financially cheaper, obviously 3 boxes can be quite expensive. So if you want to go financially cheaper, you've got the Hellblaster and Body Gun and the Hellstorm rockets. Again, these would be with towns or areas which had more of a forge and places you can make that. Also, if they do, something I really love for them to do is bring back the black powder rules, so you could end up blowing yourself up. So you can either use these to blow yourself up or thin out the ranks of your enemies. Now, I want to mention both the Celestial Hurricanum and the Luminarc. Now, during research on these videos, I wanted to see when these were built, and I really couldn't find one. So I know the steam tank was present during the time of the Old World. Whether or not these two were, I'm not 100% on. If they are, and if they were, I would definitely add one. I mean, they were in the Celestial Hurricanum is in some artwork in an old Empire book. So probably, and I would definitely add that one just for the extra wizard. They look good, and you know, they would be great for your army. And they were in the last edition of Warhammer Fantasy Battle as well. Now, if you watch many of my videos on saving people money or building armies, I usually mention start collecting boxes or the Combat Patrol boxes, and now the Vanguard boxes. And I've not mentioned one yet, and that's because there isn't one. Not one for freeguilds yet. The only boxes for Cities of Sigmar, the only start collecting boxes for Cities of Sigmar are for Dark Elves and Dwarves. So when it comes to the Lord and Hero choices, you can't go run into one of those boxes to save your money. So me, I'd go and get a General on a Griffin. It looks great, and it would be nice and inspiring for your army. I mean, as well as the Celestial Hurricanum, which offers some great buffs, this will help too. For your heroes, I just get the College Wizards. I wrote down the password, but I can't pronounce the password. See, and this will fill out your hero's quota and give you some much needed magic. So you could have up to like 4 wizards, as well as your general. And you have a nice bit of range there, you have a nice bit of magic, and you can harry a lot of your enemies. And that's about it. This is how I would build my Imperial army. You can tell I'm totally a Space Marines army. And your Empire army, this is how I would do it. And it's a good way of just... And you get a good feel of what each unit can do and what they can. So when you go to buy more, like you want to buy some more common units, you can go, well, my handgunners did a fantastic job. Maybe I'll just practice with some crossbowmen and get the extra range there. Or, you know, maybe I need a bit more strength with my spearmen, so I'll make some halberds next time. Or, you know, just, you can practice and go where you want. Like, maybe you got a steam tank and it didn't do as well as you expected, so you went, like, I'm not going to spend that much on a steam tank now. I'll just get a Hellblaster volley gun and see how that works. There you go. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making these ones because, as always, I love videos where I have to do a bit of research prior to it and actually, you know, doing all that digging first. A special video coming up tomorrow about the Old World as well is one I've been working on for a while, and it's one I'm really excited about making. And it's named characters which you'll be able to use in the Old World too. Not just their models, but hopefully you can use their models if you can find them, because some of them are out of print now. But models and named characters that will be able to be used in the Old World because they were alive back then. Yes, I'm looking excited about one. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Links to Raylan Games down below, and of course Forbidden Planet, my t-shirt, my comics, and Patreon if you want to give me money. Again, if you're Patreon, you'll just get... I don't really check Patreon that much, but if you do want to help the channel, go to one of the other links first. Get yourself something nice. The comic's really good, by the way. I really enjoyed making it, and I'm going to be making another one soon. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Thank you.